everybody, it's Max Farrow from DexFxMarkets.com here in the Dex Atomic Live Trading Room in our Discord channel. Make sure you join, come over to the Discord, look us up, TraderMax 9099 hashtag. All right, we've had a day. We've had a day, a good day. That's not too bad of a day, but still in between. Minus 25 on the board so far. We did have a couple of turnovers. But we did get into an OTM earlier on. We tried to do it again there. We missed the mark. Just kind of came up short. We got down to, I think, like $30-something minus. We probably could have pumped it out there. But the woulda, shoulda, coulda monster kind of came in to me. And I'm like, listen, I put on a special way to buy in to do a take profit process, which is pretty cool. But it didn't take on to that one. That's okay. We had it work here. So far with the OTMs, we're like 70% success. So, but, we had a couple wins last week. We had another win here earlier in the week. So pretty good. Tonight, we're really going to stay sharp because I don't think we're going to be trading live tonight because of, I don't like to run away from the news. But again, this is the NFP, the non-farm payroll week. And it's pretty strong in there right now. The news tonight is has a 50% chance of crying with this Audi process happening. The Audi is a commodity pair, and there's a lot of capital information happening here in the next 35 minutes, right? So even if I were to come in and do some trading, let's just say on the euro, people are trying to avoid the Audi might come over to the euro to trade or Great Britain pound to trade. And so it'll still get affected to a degree. That's why you see sometimes when you get some yen movement, you might see the euro USD get inflected, so. All right. We are about 4 minutes out. I guess at this time, if you're in the Discord channel, you can, maybe if you have any questions, I'll be up in also, you can do so in the trader chat channel that's above. So there's a trader chat up above as well. I'm not sure who B. Joey is. Let me get you in as a member so you can see that. Member Joey, there you go. You've been made a member. I'm not sure which. I'm just going to take a risk that you actually have that. Ryan Lee, B. Joey. I think you all can see the chat now there. So if you have any problems. Okay, so we're just getting started. And again, if you have any questions, just come into the trader chat that's above in the Dex channel, and you can ask your questions there. And how do you see the live channel? Is that you come down to anything with a little speaker on, you see where it says live room stream, and you see there's some of us in there right now, and you're watching me just dink around on the screen there. Here are the charts. We got about 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Now, why do I like at night to come back at the 7 o'clock hour is because over on Nadex, there at nighttime, we do what they call the Big Five, right? That's the Audi USD, the Euro JPY, the Euro USD, the Great Britain Pound USD, and the USD JPY. These guys all have what we call intraday strike prices on board, right? And you can start it at 6, but there's no 7 o'clock expiry. Okay, so you couldn't come on our system and get a 2-hour expiry because our 2 hours expiries don't start till 7. They go from 7 to 9, right? So I come in at 7 so I can trade the hour trades, but also trade the 7 to 9 2 hours if I need to, if there's heavy news or what have you. So I'm going to take a look at both. I'm going to be looking to trade mostly in demo. All right, only because at this time of night during the NFP week with that much news on happening tonight, I'm not sure how the market's going to respond at this level with this particular system. Now, if it was the TNT, I would wait for negation, like on something like this, and I'd wait for an arrow up, and I would probably have a good relationship there. So I might use a TNT mentality, spotting the trend, waiting for negation, and waiting for another arrow that would be facing down at this point. And this would be the TNT strategy, right? And then I would go back up to the EMA from the time of the arrow, and that would be my strike price. So yes, there are processes that I could do even during the news. Also, what we call multiple deviations. That means that if I have an arrow up or down, I go back to the closest point of structure, or what we call dynamic structure, and that's where I'll play off of, and then at certain levels upwards, and we call that deviation. So if we do find a strike at say 65.86, and on the AUD USD it's only 4 pips separate, the next deviation is 65.92, right? And then so forth, on and on and on up. And then I start to look at how many deviations should I be away for market expansion and all that kind of stuff. All right, we got about a minute left here before we start looking at trades and the charts. Again, we're going to start real super quick. We're going to hit this thing. We're going to hit the ground running on the 1 hour trades. I am looking over the 30 minutes. We're not going to trade anything Audi. I might trade the Audi. I'm definitely going to trade the Audi on demo. So make sure our demo is open. We hit refreshed. We're ready to go. Let's get in there and start looking at trades. All right. So first one up, Audi USD. We are going to definitely trade this. We're in a single bottom here coming to on this process right here. 65.77 on the buy. We're going to look at that for 1 hour. Come down to Audi. 10 a.m. Oh, it's been a while since I refreshed. Apologize. All right, 8 p.m. And again, I talked myself out of my number. 65.77. That's where we want to be at. 65.77, 65.80, 65.76. That would be good. We're just going to put a working order on 75. Normally I like to do 3 contracts on the demo, and I'll show you why later. Okay, there's that. Got one on, right? And this is over a 1 hour period, so we're looking at you might get a little bit of pullback, but this is the level we're going to be at. Audi JPY on another buy, but again, there's no secondary structure underneath except all the way down here, which is 70.13. Okay, and if we are against the trend here, what we're looking for is this thing to drop down again and end right around in this area. So Audi JPY, and what's that number going to be at? We're going to bounce off of that 70.12 area there, 70.12 on the Audi JPY. And I want to see, because the Audi JPY is not going to trade because remember, it's the big 5 time now. So these guys, the Audi JPYs, don't have the intradays that are in there. So keep that in mind. So we're not going to be able to trade the Audi JPY. So let's go down to the next big 5, which is the Euro JPY, which just may be something that I would trade on live if I can see a good fitting. But the JPY is a nighttime cooperative as well, so it could be affected by nighttime movement. So we're going to drop down here. We're going to see that this 119.23, I'm going to see if I can get something more at the 1948 mark. 1948, we're looking, this right here is looking pretty strong, which is a double there. So between 1932 and 1948 or 43, 48, that's what we're looking at. Let's go over and have a look. Euro JPY. We're going to look on our live account. We're going to 68, 1940, 42 to 52. See, 52 is a little high because we're looking to do the buy, right? So 1942. I'm going to put this on as a working order, and this is a return working order. So what that means is that it's lower down on deviation to actually, if it does get hit, it's going to be picked up, but maybe bounce off of that level. So that's what we're looking to do here. Let me refresh this page here. There we go. So this is the level all the way. You see, it's skyrocketing up. So what we've done is that we've hit it right around. Let's come back up here. We're down here at 42, right? Did I do that right? 1942, right? So we're looking for it to come down into this area and bounce off. We're close enough to that area, and we did have substantial movement on the left, over to the left, about a day or so ago. All right. So let's get into the next trade, Euro JPY. Now, I should not and will not put on another Euro USD with another Euro on at the same time, especially in the opposite direction. That's what lost me that previous trade earlier on. All right, Euro USD. So let's look at pound JPY. But again, unless we got something good. If we do have something good, let's look at this one. Oh, this one's a triple on the bottom with a cutting off the kneecaps there. 137.08, 137.07. Let's go see if there's any live money on that real quick, because I may take that Euro JPY off. Oh, I keep forgetting. It's nighttime. The big 5. Silly boy. So can't trade that one because there's not a contract available. But the Great Britain Pound USD, there might be something good. Here we're going against it. We're in negation. Do we have any movement for negation to any rule up here? Anything good? We got the top. We got a cutoff. We got a cutoff. We got a little bounce there. Kind of hoping we might have to pull away one deviation to see. That's the line right there. And that is at 28.28. Let's go look at live money to see what's on, see if there's anything of decency happening. This is for just 1 hour, 28.28. There's 24. That's a little close, right? It's down at 19. It's 5 pips off. That's a little close with a little bit of a push happening for in the buy pattern. Probably try to end out up this way. So let's look at one deviation up from 24 to 34. And we're going to do that. And we're going to put that on it right there. And I did that wrong. 25. And we're going to place order. Now, why am I only using one contract? Because if it does get bought, I want to keep more room in. We got about $2,600 in this particular account. I could always put more in. I'm not worried about that. I'm not going to play like I have $10,000 in the bank. I'm going to play to my balance, okay? I'm only going to have 2 or 3 under if we are trading tonight anyway. All right. So we came from 28 up to 34 because 24 was just a little too close for us sitting this level. Especially with this pushing up. It's got to push either through or all the way down, and it'll end up down in this area at 2,800. Okay, this is a pretty tough zone to be on. It's looking to push past. And if we scroll back, it hasn't been up that high for a little while, you know, but it doesn't have a problem going skyrocket up to 28.48, up into that 40 pip area. Can you imagine being in this zone? Check that out. It's pretty long. All right. So we're up to 34, maybe a possibility. Where were we? We did the Great Britain USD. The last one is USD JPY. And we do have the buy on. Again, this is about 6 minutes after, so we just got into the second bar, the second candle. So I really don't like being there too far afterwards. And if I scroll up, I can kind of see down at 106.58. Doubt anything will get bought in this. If we do find, when we come back closer to the half-hour mark, if anything's down there, we'll look at getting into that. But nothing at the moment. I can put a, let's see. That looks pretty strong right there. So what I'm going to do is 106.97, but I'm going to do that here. I'm going to do that on demo. 8 o'clock's 106.96, and we're going to do that on demo. Again, this is not about the profit in there. I blew that. It's not about the profit margin in there. It is about the location of area. Does it get picked up? And that's what we're really looking at. One thing I don't like, and what I see here, is that we get this conflict, right? AUD USD, USD JPY, both in a buy position. If it was true confluence, it would be USD USD, right? So USD JPY, or you would have an opposite. You would have one that was a plus and the other one was a minus, right? Because the base pair is on the opposite sides. So we're already saying there's just some contention happening right now. Now, let's jump over real quick. We're going to jump down that line of 2 hours and try to get that done before the quarter after the first bar. Let's get in the AUD USD. And again, not trading on anything AUD USD right now because of that news that's gone out. I'm using caution. You can actually give yourself a little bit more room on deviation if you wanted to. But we're lucky there's no actual bars that had arrows. No arrow there, no call. Euro JPY, no call. Euro USD. No arrow. Great Britain Pound, JPY. We do have an arrow, and we have a little bit of movement down here to 136.81 to 43. That's 43 something pips. What I will do is I'm going to test out this level right here because we got a little process. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. We even have some stuff to write about there. 137.12. But again, we have this drop. If we do push up past, we can come back down and end up down in this area. So I would really like to see maybe this lower deviation here, 136.93. And we're going to test that thought. Okay, 136.93. Because this isn't about just where can I get the best juice at, right? Because will that juice fail you long term? And again, how come nobody told me? I swear to God, I'm so tired. It's not even funny. Again, one of my rules is don't trade tired. Let's jump down to Great Britain Pound USD, see if there's anything there. Yep, there is a buy position there, which is good. This one is sort of right at the mark. It started telling us a story right here. 28.06. 28.06 on the buy. I want to see if there's anything on 28.06. There's 04. There is a buy. Doesn't have... Whew, that's tough. It's in a 28.18. Usually about 10 pips out. You'd be a little bit better than that, right? 94. So one thing that you have to know is that a 0-0 level, like 2800, is a strong level. That's why you get this red to this green. Somewhere in there is that 00 number, right? There's that 00 number right there, almost like right in the smack dab middle. That's why you get all this push back and forth and bouncing off one edge of it, you know, just over, just under, just over, just under kind of mentality. So hopefully we can kind of spray that. So 2800 we're going to look at. In fact, I'll even go back in on this for a live and look at the 2804 as a potential. And we'll put that at 75 and place the order. So these are actually live trades. They're on board. They're there. So it's available. Let me see if anybody... Yeah, I know. You're King DD says that my admin's too powerful. I could speak in the room. Yes, you could. And you could come out and ask questions if you want to. In the room, in the chat room up top, make sure you're coming out if you have any questions and you need them answered during stream so you can hear answers and see experiences in there. Please do, okay? That's what this is here for. Click trader's name and hit join live stream. I said I'm a bit late. That's okay. All right. So let me get back over and having a look at the trader system here. We can see that that's there. USD JPY. We're going to pop down there and have a look real quick. This looks actually pretty promising. We get this top, but remember, there's a lot of... This is the JPY time period. So this has... Normally, if this was like a no news time period, this wasn't the week of weeks, the week of NFPs, then I'd probably be right about in this area. I'd get to the top of that wick, right there, right through that little notch there, and right where the MA is, right? This could be a really good spot for this pair just to come up and go. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what? Test and demo. That's right. 107.34. USD JPY. 9 o'clock. 107.34. Oh, that's all the way up there. And it's got some money on it, but not a lot. So let's try that. Let's do our 3. And we're going to do 25. 25 and place order. Order placed. All right. I think Nadex needs to talk to you. Be like, you've just placed a good trade. Okie doke. Let's have a look. What else was there? Okay. Well, that's about it for now. I don't think I missed any of them, except for the ones that were like too crazy. There's a buy on the USD JPY that we probably should have looked at too. It has that really cute little double bottom. Why did I say that? It sounds weird. It has a double bottom right there. Come in, it bounces off the same exact level, which usually means we're going to come up, get in some contention, and pull back in, be up in this area up here if we're doing the crossover. But what I would like to see is like, where's the high point over this past period? You know, we got a low and a little bit lower where it needs to break. Remember that these highs if it's really going to continue on down below, we're going to create a lower low. You see, so this is a lower high, right? So lower high, but it broke over this part. If the next bar after this is a high and it comes up here and closes out over here, it has a very high chance for it to continue going on, right? It may bounce off a deviation or two and come back down, but it is in the march to north, okay? So we have to keep that in mind too as a possible connection. This is a 1 hour trade, so let's look at that real quick. I did that the wrong way. 34, boom. Wait, did I? So it would be 106.86 on the USD JPY. For 6 to 8. 106.86. 88 right there. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 deviations down, so we're probably not going to be to 17, because what are they apart? They're 4 pips apart, so you get a lot of deviations on from these statements, these spreads of statements, statement spread, I guess you can call it. All right, well, I think that's it now for this first part. We've been broadcasting now for about 15 minutes on our recording. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause the stream. I'm going to come back at since there's a 9 o'clock, there's 2, to see if anything gets picked up. If something gets picked up, I'll put out another broadcast that, hey, we're going to be going on. I'll try to get back at the top of the hour, about 10 minutes to 8, to see if I can get onto another trade, if there's another trade value on. And if not, we're going to see how this news, we're probably going to get picked up on this Audi USD on the demo probably, and maybe this Euro JPY, if it can kind of get off of its own butt, or the Great Britain Pound USD at 98.50 is probably going to get picked up as well, if we get some good news movement. If not, then we'll meet again at the top of the hour and see how it goes from there. I'm Max. This is Dex. See you in a few seconds. Welcome, everybody. This is Max Farrow from Dex Fx Markets. We're back, and we're on our 1 hour trades. Did we get picked up? Well, yes, we got picked up on a demo trade here for the USD JPY, and we got picked up on nothing on the live. Because we didn't pick the USD JPY at the live. If you remember, we picked up the USD JPY on a 2 hour trade. Let's see, is that for 9 o'clock? There's another hour left. So there's still a lot of work for it to do, but let me show you where it's at. We can see that we're easily at this level of contention. It's going to probably break above this MA just a little bit, and hopefully it'll come back down to kind of reach through. The only concern I have is that it's reaching above. Remember what I said? A trend is always about the lower highs, right? The lows getting lower. So if it does break down, now sometimes it'll break down and hit back up to the MA, like it does somewhat here, right? And then comes back down and folds back down and gets where it's supposed to go. We do have a major push with some sideways stuff that happened here, and for it to push down to try to bring it to another level. And if we scroll back even further, you'll see that those levels easily go down even further from there. Okay, so the little voice in my head saying stay away from anything more on that Nadex for 32. We're at 34. I think we'll be okay for the next hour from there. So at the top of the hour, we're going to look at some of the other trades. We didn't get into any of these, and none of them even came off of their current 99.75 25 cent rule here, right? Because we gave it a little bit too much margin. But I'd rather you pull out a few deviations on during a heavy news time, like that news was heavy. We had this big impulse push, which now we're getting this recovery rate from this big push. It's bouncing off this. Look how strong this support and resistance is. Not to toot my own damn horn, but I built this support and resistance indicator, and I'm always very proud of it. But this zone right here really bounced that off at that 84 level like a charm. Now, this level was down here before. We could have easily said, okay, from down to there to bounce off, because we were going to try to use that from here, remember, on that last trade. But I think we're going to get stuck over the next hour. We're going to kind of finish up. Now, what we could do at this rate, at the 107.34, at this 107.34, oh, that's for 8 o'clock, so 9 o'clock. 107.34 all the way up here. If this were to get to $75, okay, that's what we want to get that to. We want to get that sell for 75. What is that going to do? I'll tell you. You just wait, Bob. I'm going to tell you. Trust me. Okay. I'm going to put down for 75 for this order for 3 trades. Why? Because if it gets to 75 plus that 25, that's $100 per contract. That is a true 1-to-1 break-even offer, right? So we're going to place that order. What that's going to do is going to put it down here into the USD JPY working order section. So if it does jump to that, it'll pick that up. Why? Because these things usually kind of push up, and if they can, this area of contention right here at this 50 mark is what's going to push us back, push this little level back. And because it's already happening into a slow draw down, it's going to try to end out right around in this area. It wants to break this level. Mark my words, over the next hour. It wants to break down below this level. Now, the only thing that it would, that if it does close out over up top here, it may be headed north for a reversal to try to hit up to this zone up here. That's the only thing against it. But I'm willing to take those odds because it's more than 50% in our favor. It's about 60, 70% in our favor at that time. So we would take that. It's exactly 8 o'clock now. We're going to jump back over to the 1 hour charts up to the Audio USD. We're going to see what we have in the bucket possibilities. No channel, no arrow there. Audio JPY. Now we're going to look at this, okay? Because this is pretty big, right? Teaching moment. This level here, all kind of fundamentally playing off, right? Comes up, back in, touches, and then just really takes off. This was news and everything that was happening earlier, kind of messing with us earlier in the morning this morning, right? So it really prominent that level. Look how many times it just punches it. Comes back down, bounces off this lower level, comes back up to try to be at this level here, right? Pushes the level down, but look, comes back up and then tries to stay on this level again. Now, with that said, what's this trying to do now? If we had a buy arrow here, I would definitely use this trim level right about here. Really short and sweet. A little higher risk, but definitely worth it because it's using this level now as a platform to move forward. But since we don't have the arrow, I'm not going to go with it. I'm trusting that arrow to be my guide. We already did Auto USD. Euro, Great Britain, Pound. Nothing here. But again, we've broken down past our lower lows. Remember? We've broken past our lower lows. If we had an arrow here, I'd be going with it. Euro, JPY. We're looking for that contention of, always looking for that consistency, I should say. Euro, JPY. Come on, guys. Switch over. There it is. Wow, lots of movement. Remember, this is the Euro JPY. Look how much movement this is. 69 all the way up to 30-something pips, 30-something pips in that process. It's jumping even further because it does have news happening. Nothing happening on the Euro USD. Stale as stale can be, but no arrow. Great Britain Pound JPY. With another big movement. Again, another JPY. Great Britain Pound USD. Nothing there. USD CAD. There's finally one of our arrows. Now we push down this level. Now what this means, sometimes we get down to these lower levels, like in between this green and this red, right about there. This is going to be a support. This is going to be a major support level, right? And we've had some little bit of impulse move, even a little gap run there, right? Because this is the USD CAD, which is a commodity pair, which is influenced usually by all kinds of events. Anything that will affect oil or gas, it's going to push this pair around, okay? So you got to keep that in mind. So usually it's a fart in the wind that makes us USD CAD jump up and down. So if we do get some impulse move, bigger candles going down, be prepared for it to be an area of contention right around here. And this means it's going to come down and probably bounce off and go back up north again. But how far north? That's the big question. Usually when you get this gap trend that happens like this, it's usually going to try to end right about there. God, that looks like a person. Put a little legs on him. There we go. All right, so we're probably going to try to stay something with a support level with a other side resistance. That's this level right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And that's a good little area for it to come back down here and jump back up. So what is that? 33.65. But I don't think we're going to have enough movement on that. 33.65 on the USD CAD. And again, here I am dancing all around the place on how great that move would be if it was on a pair that was actually trading right now. See, even I do this. At night, I always get stuck in this because I'm so eager to look at the trades. We got to look at the big five. I do apologize. But if this was a regular trade, that's where you would look. Use that as experience. Even if you don't have, I do this at night anyway because I look at where my levels are and what it does and the different setups in that process. But let's look at the USDJPY. And nada. Yep. Nothing there. So we're going to have to come back around close to the 9 o'clock hour, about 10 minutes to 9. And we're going to look to see if we can get any 2-hour trades as well within that process. Also, start looking at your references on the support and resistance areas. And start looking back. How do they really match up? And look how well that matches up. This is a beauty, right? You got this here. And you got all this back here as well. Right? And it's acknowledgeable. Look, this one only has like 3 or 4. This one probably has a whole bunch from over in this time period too, right? So see all these that are touching. That's what makes it a little darker green. You know, this one probably goes way, way back a little bit more, you know, almost a full day. And that what really does make it work, you know, because when you can see those levels, when you get close to those levels, like even coming close and getting this and then maybe buying a sell at the last couple minutes to get to this level. I mean, there's so many ways you could trade that process. That's why I love that support and resistance thing so much. All right, enough bragging over my love of support and resistance. Guess what happened? It bought in on the USDJPY on that demo. We're going to test that out. This is an OTM trade process, right? This is an OTM. So let me show you how I'm going to set this up as an OTM trade. USDJPY, we've already set it to buy at this level. Look, it hit that level and it shrunk back. What we need for it to do now is to give us a couple of bear bars here and then fall down right around this area. Okay? So if that does, we might be in a good way. If it does drop down, it doesn't really need to drop down much, right? And we got about 54 minutes. From now until about halfway after the hour, you're going to want to wait to do this, right? Because you don't want it to drop down right now and then get bought up on this process. But here's what you can do. We're going to set a take profit order. And how do you do that? I'm glad you asked. Here's how you do it. We're going to click on to bring up the ticket. Now remember, you always do what? You sell higher than you buy, right? So if you buy something for $1, you want to sell it for $2 to make profit, right? So in this case, we sold for 50. So if I want to make $25 average for every contract that I do, what's the void of 25 out of this? So if I wanted to make 25, I would have had to have bought it for 25. Make sense? Great. So here's what we do. We're going to do this order, and since we've sold it already, we got to be on the buy side, and the price has to be what? That's right, $25. Okay? What this will do is, and in fact, I probably should put 24, so we can make a dollar extra per each one, maybe even 23, to make $2 if you wanted to do that. I'll split it and do 24, and we're going to place order. Now, what this is going to do, you got to make sure you get this down right. So practice a lot in demo, right? Because if you do it on the wrong way, if you do a sell to a sell, you're going to buy more contracts, right? If you do it higher than the number, it's going to buy you out where you're at right now, and you're going to lose money. So you got to be careful, right? We only need to go down 3 pips right now for us to get into money. Why? Because we just bought 6 contracts at $50, right? We're in for reserve for about $300, right? We got a cost. And this is why I don't like having this part up like this. I usually just like having the available with the T and L, right? Just like that. So 135, 165 is how much? $300. That's right. So we're in for that. So if this thing loses, we're losing 300, right? Because we originally bought 3 contracts, and we bought another 3 for $75, right? Which is a void of 100. So 3, so $50 a piece times 6, 300. Now, if we win, if it goes drops all the way down below, we could make $300. Or we can make 6 times 25, right? 150. So we're only looking at about half of what we would normally do there. But why we do that is because here's what possibly could happen. This pair is going to drop down. Here's 34. Here's where it needs to be right now. It doesn't look like it's very much, is it? Right? We're on a 15-minute chart. Okay? So it needs to come down right about here for it to be in the win column. But we still got all the way over to here to go. We have a whole hour to go. It could drop down here and then come back up and finish out over here if we're not careful, which we could end up losing. So you have to kind of make a decision. And I usually do this usually a little bit about halfway before expiry, right? So if it's a 2-hour and it happens early in the expiry, I have to look at what's about halfway through that and from where it happens to how long is left. So if it happens an hour before the end of expiry, I look at about a half hour in between that. Then I will put on my take profit, okay? And I do so at a very lucrative side, right? Your pair is never going to get to 70% of your ticket value, okay? So you always have to look at that. I'm not going to see a $300 profit in this profit loss area. I'll probably see maybe a $200 in there, or 225 maybe, right? And see, look, we're already getting into profit now, because look what's happening. We're dropping below. Now, I usually like to keep this on, I usually like to put it on right about a half hour. So at my point, I would be waiting to put this on about a half an hour, but I don't want to hang around for that part, right? So I'm going to do this because I know it's probably going to get hit. If it falls down below that process and really does chunk down like this, and especially if we get like a little shooting star that's going to happen here, or a hammer or what have you, it's going to head down south like that. So keep that in mind. Let's see here. Pounds, not really moving too much on that one, so I don't see us getting into that one. And so sitting here waiting for this to unfold, is a possibility. It's hitting up to 35 again. Now, there's also a point here, right? We got some good trades and it came down enough. Do you take a $19 loss? That's up to you as well. I only trade to this level because the opportunities for me to make that 300, I don't really care about. I'm looking to make it as 150. That's a 1-to-1 at that point, right? I'm risking 300 to make 300 with that potential. But now I'm doing 1-to-2 if I take that profit early, right? Make sense? I hope so. Makes sense to me. Now, if this thing in the next 30 minutes really starts to unfold, before the 30 minutes, like it's dropping down and it's down below that and it just keeps on going, this may be triggered out pretty quickly and you'll see that, right? But we'll have to wait for that. So I'm going to come back roughly in around 50 minutes. If this gets bought out, it gets bought out. That's just the way it goes. But if it doesn't, then we can kind of wait to see if it does get close. If it does get close, then I feel like we're not going to get it. And one of those margining factors, what I know we won't get it, is that if we close again and anywhere up in this area over the next bar, we close up here at all with another bull bar, then we might be in between this little zone area for a little bit. And if that's 2 bars, that might be 2 bars, and it might flip back and forth with a couple tails with a last second run. So there's no reason to sit here and keep watching and make decisions now. All right. So I'll be back. I'll stop the recording now and we'll jump out of Discord. I'll jump up a channel. And if you guys got questions about this process, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm Max, this is Dex, and see you in a second. Hey everybody, I'm back just for a few minutes here. We're going to quickly just jump over here and look at some movement happening. Oh, looks like he's already reversed back up. I did want to talk to you about what this is referred to as time decayance, right? So we got past that half an hour. We haven't been picked up yet down in this lower end, so I'm going to leave this to the end. I've learned in the past that you may get close. So within the last 15 minutes, if this USD doesn't get picked up in that last 15 minutes, I'd say 15 to 10 minutes, right in that area, the last to expiry, I may look at trying to take, if it's like still sitting at 35 or what have you, I may end up taking a small loss at that point, at that level. But being that it's on the demo level, I'm just going to let this do its thing to see if it picks up. If this was live, I probably would have picked up for the minus 30 something it was at. Even went green for a few minutes earlier. I may have just gotten to that just so I can get away from a negative trade. OTMs are made to do one of two things. If you got the balance, let it do its thing and let it be the contention of risk, but also a one-to-one relationship. In the world of Nadex, it's very difficult to come by. So just keep that in mind. But for now, I'll leave this on to see if we can push that. If I notice a stall, because what we can do is look at this. Okay, so here's where we thought that level was going to be, right? I drew this out earlier before on the previous video that we thought that if it did come up and push out here, great. If it ended up over here within that process, we probably wouldn't have anything on, and it'd just be a fact of loss at that point, right? So, but we did end up pushing that, and it is this next couple bars should be, because remember we're on a 15-minute bar. So here in about 5 minutes, we're going to get our last bar that will be in, right? So that last bar has to kind of end out over here, where I kind of circled in right there, right? That's what we're looking for it to be. Being that it's sitting actually on spot Forex at 34, it doesn't make a difference because it's about a pip and a half up on Nadex. But I think it's going to drop down and be down in that area. And you can kind of see, even though it's still sitting at that 35, 36 area, it's now at a minus 120 instead of a minus 300, right? You can tell by your position value how much you have left. If I were to get out, I'd be at 190 instead of at 300 in the loss area. But again, being 2 pips off, this is really worth keeping on and keeping the solution. So I'm not going to stick around too far on this. I looked over at the live trade. We're not even making a blip on 2804. We're about 16 pips off. It would really have to make a dramatic move at that level. I'm probably not going to trade past the 9 o'clock tonight, just because I have some things that I want to go do, and it's been a long day in the trading world for poor Trader Max. Lots of stuff building my gaming network, server network, marketing firm, trading everything. Lots of stuff going on. But listen, this is what it takes. We are bringing on a group of people within this world, like most of you, like that are even in a Discord room right now. You've met me. Some of you met me through gaming. Some of you met me through just business. Some of you just met me through the website. But we have a great deal of people we're trying to reach. I just didn't want to reach out to traders who were needing some help. I wanted to reach out to people who wanted to make a business out of this process. And that's what we've done. We've made a business out of this solution. And I'm very, very excited to share that with many more people. Last 15 minutes here, I may look at just letting us go do what it's going to do, and then I'll shoot you over a results video on that process. But you can kind of see we jumped up to that 250 mark. We're sitting okay. If we can get down to 107.32 on this, we may hit this number. We may hit this 25 or 24 per at that level. But I'll stick around for a few extra minutes to see what we're doing. At this time, if you guys have a question, type it out in chat inside the Discord channel, and I will try to answer any questions at that point. At the top of the hour, I'll probably be calling it the night and maybe going and grabbing a bourbon. It's been a long day. Also, make sure that you click on my name, right-click on my name, hit my profile, and do add me as a friend in the process. You simply just hit add friend. I'm going to try to add all you that are in the area as well. That way I can make sure that we're connected, and when I go on, you'll see that I'm going on, all that kind of good stuff. So that's always good to have in there too. All right, let's jump back over to the trade block. See, we got about 1 more minute, and then we're going to get in. And the formation of this next bar is really important. I'm going to refresh the screen here. Go there. This next bar, when it comes out, is what's going to set it, because we want it to come in and just start heading down from here. With this bar straight down here, probably going to do a little last minute run in this last little bit of the bar, because if we go over to the one hour and we look, we're above the trend, but we look like we're coming down here like this, right? And that's where we kind of need to end out right now. This part of the process of the theory of the OTM and how that works against that. Let's jump over to the 2-hour chart. Where did we get our level at? We got our level right here. Right at this level right here, 34, 35, right in that area, right? And that's where we're kind of playing at right now. So you see the levels work. You see that the levels do have contention when you get to this. To come up, push past, come back, test it, and then fall down. You see now we're falling down. Watch what happens now. We're down to 32. We're up to $46 profit margin. We could easily at this point, like we have in the past, if we can stay dropped down. Yep, there we are. We're heading back up north again. And this is what can happen. It can, in this first few minutes of the block, it's going to try to battle a little bit south, right? And then it's going to do what? It's either going to try to go up north, right? Because we want 1, 2, 3, because it's the top of the hour. It's this last bar of the hour, right? So, but if we can get this third one committing to bear, then I think we got it. Oh, there it is. It's right there. Down 107.30, 107.30.05. 118, 120, and 3. Oh, come on. You can push this. There it is. Picked up, no problem. As you can see, winner, chicken dinner at that level. Again, that was a demo. That was the demo trade. I don't think we're going to get this picked up, so I'm even going to go ahead and take it off that process there. Cancel the order. We're clean out of there, no losses. But you can see where this was a perfect OTM process. Now, could it finish underneath? Yeah, it can. And, you know, would you have left? Is that really leaving $150 on the table? At this level, I'd have more respect for you to have that process on, that it's structured, right? That it has a, not just going in, oh, it's green, let me click out, right? But more of a structure that set yourself the timetable. You know, like I said, don't put it on past half, you know, to, I guess, the last half hour of the trade. You know, put it in there at that point. Unless you see that theoretical moving happening at that time, put it on then. Like I, you know, for this, it was something different. Now we're about 4 pips in. So it's still all good, right? The next is getting that take profit scenario when you get the OTM on, and how to figure all that out, right? You always do what? You buy for more than you sell. So if you get into a sell side for $50, then you want to make $25 per on it, you need to have the buy at $25 lower, or the buy at $30 lower, whatever you're going to have it. If we did it for 24, and we did out pretty good at that level, right? So I'm going to pop in, grab my transaction, my history. Oh crap! Oh, let me do that again. Do that. When you got two of the accounts up at the same time, it does that sometimes. Okay, there we go. And this was a good little trade packet for the 9 p.m. Boom. Copy. Head over to the NFP week. Now this wasn't on the live atomic, so I can't put it on there, but I'm going to put it on my atomic for the week. And there we go there. Okay. Now, if I do the same trade on my live and it comes out the same way, then I won't put it on this side. I won't double them up. But there we go. $144. Not too chabby. We went from a out of the money trade, possibly losing, only making about $75. We almost doubled our money from that point. So I'm okay with that. Okay, because we doubled. Now remember, we just didn't double our original trade. We were able to get to a 1-to-1 buying opportunity. Now, we were able to scalp out to get us to a 1-to-2 buying opportunity, which is much better than a 1-to-3 buying opportunity that we originally started with the potential for OTM out. Now, it could still always lose too. We just don't know. But I'm not willing to sit around and let that be the determining factor. Let's see, what is the price at right now? 107.25. So at this point, we would have probably been really, that's 9 p.m. I keep forgetting it's only 9 p.m. We only got about 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure we would have been fine. That's about 8 pips out now. And it's done exactly what we said it was going to do, right? That third bar in was really going to take a drop. It wants to get down below here, to get down right around in this area, right? That's where it wants to shoot out at. It might push back up a little bit more, but by 10, 11 o'clock, it's going to be back either. Let me pull out and see if I can see where it could possibly go to. Right now, it's still kind of out. If this pair, because this is really treating it as a good system, if it stays around here over the next hour, this could still be into a sell trend, a bear trend at that point. But I think it's going to get stalled out down in here. All right, I'm Max. This is Dex. I really do appreciate you all hanging out with me. Wasn't really a great buy-in this morning or tonight. We didn't really get any trades on. If I do come back, I'll probably just do a private video and release it for tomorrow. This video will be in the Trader Max series above and everything I've done to watch that out. I will try to isolate that that take profit scenario in there for everybody for a learning system so you guys can see that process. It's very exciting. I love doing that when it all works out. That was absolutely wonderful. But still, if you guys want to hang out and look to see if it stays under 34, then great. Let me know in the chat if you can, if it stayed under 107.34. If not, my part's done. I proved my point that the system does work that way and that I can read the charts in that fashion and see that, yes, you got a 50-50 opportunity for to be above or below. But if you can read the market well enough, if you can read like this area right here, knowing that there's contention right here. Remember what I said, there's a little contention right here. And what we wanted to do is just come down here and drop and stay right around this area underneath that 34. That's why we picked it. So if you learn this, if you watch this and you just watch me do, the only way you're going to get it from now is to go do and try and practice and run, right? Train, train, train. You've learned enough. Watching me trade here is only one part of it, right? I always want to see new faces in that Discord group. You know, being there trading, you know, watching me trade this process is only one tiny little part. All you guys that are watching this right now, you should only be here for a short period of time, and then you should be in your own room. You should be in your own room trading. If you want to help. Hang on one second. I blew that. I stopped that there. Okay, so we've already, I've stopped the live on that side of it. I'm still recording on the system. I'll say in my departures now, if you guys in the room definitely understand that I'm here to help you as much as possible. You can only watch me so much. You can only watch a trader or a craftsman make furniture do. You actually got to get in there, touch the wood, get it on board, use the tools, and get the experience. You can do it. It doesn't take long. Yes, I've been trading for a long period of time, but with this Dex Atomic, it's so easy to see the levels and understand the market and how it moves. And there's going to be times where it moves into a direction you don't know why it's going there. That's okay. I don't know either. But it doesn't matter because it will move the same way. It's got to go up. It's got to come down. You can take those opportunities and learn. All right. I'm Max Farrow. This is Dex Fx. Leave me a make sure you leave me a subscribe if you're watching this after the fact. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. Make sure you, if you don't know where the YouTube channel is, find it. Do a subscribe to it. We need more subscribers to that YouTube channel. There's going to be a ton more people. This is only the third day we've had this thing open up to the way it is, and it's a huge, being a huge success. We've raised up a bunch of people so far. Thank you so much for everybody on. Chris, David, Ron, Ryan, B. Joey in there too. Thanks a lot for being here. We'll see you next time. I'm Max Farrow. This is DexFXMarkets.com. We'll see you next time, and as always, trade well.